Welcome to a spine-relieving episode of Nerd Central. Oh no, I have to make a bunch of puns about stretching today, don't I? Frick. Well, that's okay, because I can be flexible. You see? I hate it. But all this stretching doesn't matter until the rubber hits the road when we kick it to the news. And first off, it feels like Showtime knows what we all want in the wasteland days of 2020. And that is to be taken back in time to 2006. How do they plan on doing this? By reviving Dexter, of course. No, not Dexter's Laboratory. That is a completely different thing. For the uninitiated, Dexter is a Showtime original series about a serial killer who only kills other serial killers that, holy crap, ran for 8 seasons? Well, it's about to be 9 because Showtime is bringing him back for a limited series titled Dexter Returns. Wow, they really bent over backwards coming up with that one, didn't they? A Mad Max prequel is in the works, which in concept sounds really boring because a Mad Max prequel would just be normal everyday life. But wait, Mad Max isn't even going to be in it. That's right, this movie splits the timeline as this will be an origin story for Fury Rose Furiosa. Except Charlize Theron is not involved. Instead, Anya Taylor-Joy will be taking the role of Furiosa. This will surely have fans reaching for more. Speaking of wastelands, Hollywood is ruining Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is a super wacky and fun anime-style game about killing monsters with weird, adorable cat things. Well, they're trying to adapt that into a hardcore, edgy movie about a hardened apocalypse starring Alice from the old Resident Evil movies, aka the main reason that they're bad. Not happy. Kyle, slingshot some insults with sideburns, and then Paige, rate those bees.
This is the last matchup in round 2 of the Burnage bracket. Welcome back to Sideburns, the show where insults rule and feelings are hurt. I'm your host Kyle, and we are putting Weasel from Deadpool against Tony Stark, the one and only genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Roll it.
A hero? Like you? You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Starting with Tony Stank, I mean Stark. Classic worthless insult. Way to use a man's past against him. That's not... basic. Like I said, grading gets harder the closer we get to the championship. Now Tony, why would you bring this up when you yourself are nothing but a squishy businessman in a silk 3-piece suit? I mean, look at this dude. No, Kyle, the other picture. See? Without that suit, he really is weak. Unlike Captain America, he has no abilities that make him superhuman. For actual insult, it's a 2. Basic, uninteresting, but still with some sting in it, and is the only reason I'm not giving it a 1 this week. Cleverness, I'll be generous and say a 3. Tony knew his stuff and had more background knowledge on Steve, which is why I was sort of taken aback when I first heard Tony say this. You're not really expecting from a guy as sarcastic as Tony. Next clip.
Teeth. You look like Freddy Krueger face topographical map of Utah.
Exactly.
Do I even have to do this? I do? But it's clear cut. Everyone knows who... Fine. Weasel. Jesus Christ, man. Wow. First off, for comparison, let's bring up my map of Utah and Wade Wilson's face. Now let's get scientific. Yeah, it's confirmed. He's right. Talk about going straight for the jugular with this one. Now let's also look at Freddy Krueger and Utah, and now we're making more sense. It's like there was something wrong with their relationship and this was the only outcome way to fix it. Actual insult is a 5. I mean, I can't complain. This is literally the perfect insult. It's like Monty Python where it was off the wall and odd. You didn't see it coming and you probably rewound the movie just to listen to it again. I know I did. Cleverness is another 5. I shouldn't even need to say this. Ad-libbed, enough said. Not to mention TJ Miller's a beautiful man. I mean, come on. Classy. Total burnage wasn't even close. The gap was so large that it rivals the tooth gap on this Inhuman, which, or this British Get the London Look ad. We have such a clear winner that Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller could see it coming. Weasel will be facing Monty Python in the final round of the Siddhartha Bhatwotba. Next time, we decide who wins. Then, more insults. I guess that's the only thing I'm actually good at in this life. Coming up next is B Rated with my good buddy Paige. Until next time, stay burned.
Cut the intro! Come on, let's go. We've got a lot to talk about today and not enough time to cover it. Welcome to B Rated. We watch bad movies here. I'm Paige and I'm your host. This week we watched Argo 1's InHumanWitch. Trust me, I was in the same boat as you whenever I saw the concept, but please, please, please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. Following a radioactive incident in outer space, an astronaut is transformed into a sentient blob of meat that devours everything and everyone in its path. I said it once and I'll say it again. Please watch this movie. Viewers on Amazon Prime gave InHumanWitch 4.2 out of 5 stars. Before we get down to it, I will warn you that this movie is not supposed to be taken seriously. This movie is a spoof of every 50s sci-fi movie ever made and had a budget of only $2,000. With all of that in mind, it was an incredible movie. Everything was so obvious and exaggerated, and that is exactly what made the movie so enjoyable. Yes, it's a ridiculous concept. Yes, it has terrible special effects. Yes, it has awful acting. But it's all on purpose, and I love it. So for the first time ever, I have 0 complaints. I loved this movie. In fact, it was such a good movie that I actually watched it twice. I'm so sorry. Since I don't have any complaints this week, I wanted to highlight some of my favorite things about this movie. This movie was so good because it was trying to be bad, and it was hilarious. The writers knew exactly what they were doing and managed to create a B-movie that perfectly fit the stereotype while still managing to add their own hilarious spins on the movie. The best thing was definitely the terrible acting and the way the actors executed their over-the-top lines.
If I know Joe, he's walking through the bowels of hell as we speak.
B-movies are notorious for being predictable to a fault, meaning you can usually smell foreshadowing a mile away. This movie was, of course, no exception. But it was so exaggerated that we still couldn't help but laugh when the penny dropped.
And the vat of gallons upon gallons of nuclear waste produced every minute during the energy process. Why? It would take quite the frightening catastrophe for anything to possibly go wrong with any of this immeasurably radioactive materials.
And would you believe it or not, a frightening catastrophe did occur. Another thing I loved about this movie was the fact that it was just a little bit self-aware.
Not that it matters. I mean, there's no real logical reason for me saying any of this at all.
And now it's time to take a closer look at this week's B-movie monster, the InHumanWitch. They don't give the creature a name in the movie, so they just call it the creature. When Joe first appears as the creature, it's still the actor with a whole lot of special effects makeup, but as he eats more people, he turns into this. I have no idea what this thing is actually made of. It's supposed to be sloppy Joe meat in the movie, but I'm pretty sure that would be kind of difficult for the crew to move around, so I don't think it's real meat. The main consistency is that it would always leave behind a skeleton of its victims, which created several opportunities for some pretty funny jokes. Overall, I loved this movie. If you're going to watch any of the movies I review on this show, this is the one to watch. The only thing I ask is that you don't take this movie seriously. It's not trying to be groundbreaking, it's just trying to make you laugh. And if you go in with that mindset, I promise you'll have a good time. So when should you watch this movie? Literally anytime you want. Just don't watch it alone. This has been my review of InHumanWitch. Next week, we'll review I Was a Teenage Wereskunk. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go away, because when we come back, yeah, guys, I'm running out of stretching puns. Just don't go away. Welcome back to Nerd Central. Please join me as I attempt to extend the show. Okay, I really am done with that now. For our remaining news, as we desperately await the premiere of The Mandalorian Season 2 on October 30th, it is comforting to know that the cutest baby in the universe will be getting a 3rd season and may even begin filming before the end of the year. And of course, happy birthday to Inuyasha. Let's celebrate by sending it over to Trash Flicks and Gotta Go Fast. Take it away, guys.
Hello and welcome to Trash Flicks. I'm Drew, and on this week, we'll be looking at the 2017 horror movie, The Bye-Bye Man. This is the real first horror movie I've covered on here, so it's important that I clarify that they aren't my cup of tea. I just end up getting bored, more than scared, and it's pretty hard for me to finish them. But with a name like The Bye-Bye Man, how could I resist? This movie is pretty strange. The plot is simple. It revolves around the idea that if you say or think the name The Bye-Bye Man, you will be hunted by him and he'll make you go all crazy and kill people. It's pretty simple. First, let me cover the not so bad part of the movie. The singular part that I somewhat enjoyed was the opening scene. It catches you off guard and it's pretty chilling. I also thought the overall flashback sequences were quite decent compared to the rest of the movie and were more interesting to watch. Now, they weren't that much more interesting to watch, but I still enjoyed them more than the main plot. And now for the bad, which is 80% of the movie. My first problem with this movie is the monster. Why did they name it The Bye-Bye Man? They could have chosen anything, literally anything, but they go with The Bye-Bye Man. It makes no sense and it ruins the tone of the movie. How can you fear a monster with a super dumb name? I also thought that the design was super plain. He just seemed like an ugly dude in a cloak. I thought that he might look good as an alien in a Star Wars movie. Another problem that I had was the characters. I simply wasn't interested in them at all. All of the characters were cardboard cutouts that were extremely boring. Multiple times I could predict how characters would react, and I found myself struggling to stay focused on the movie. It just felt bland and faceless. It feels like it was written in a week. 2 at most. And the biggest and most annoying problem is the fact that the movie is bland. It is extremely predictable, cliche, and standard. It makes it boring, and in my opinion, the worst thing a movie can be is boring. If it's a bad movie, you can easily enjoy the train wreck. But a boring movie is torturous to get through. I found myself looking at my phone over and over and over, and frequently checking the amount of time left in the movie. When the credits rolled, it was a breath of fresh air. I can compare the boredom I felt during this movie to the boredom I feel at work. It's just terrible. Overall, I think that the movie is plagued by a boring plot and characters and a stupid monster. It's impossible to get scared past the cheap jump scares, and the movie bores a hole in your head the whole time. This is Drew, and thanks for watching Trash Flicks.
What's up, guys? I'm Cody Nance, speeding to you with another installment of Gotta Go Fast. This week, we will be looking at the most terrifying thing I can think of, the Reverse Flash. And before you make the dumb jokes, no, he does not run backwards. The Reverse Flash is a scientist named Eobard Thawne. Eobard is from a few hundred years in the future and is obsessed with the amount of fame and fortune that Barry Allen, aka The Flash, has been gifted with. This drove Thawne to recreate the variables that led to Barry receiving his powers, and it worked! But here's the catch. Thawne is a sociopath, and the minute he gained his speed, he began killing everyone he deemed undesirable. When the public did not worship him in the same way that they did the Flash, he snapped and dedicated his life to ruining Barry's. This hatred motivated him to find a way to manipulate the Speed Force to travel back in time and be there at every horrible moment in the Flash's life, causing the deaths of almost every person the Flash has ever loved, and sleeping very soundly after. The reason I like the Reverse Flash is just the sheer terror I feel for the characters anytime he shows up in a story. You never know if he's just passing through or if he's going to change history. Also, he is straight up a serial killer with super speed. He could shove his hand through your heart faster than you would even realize that you need to blink. He is also nearly impossible to kill because of the sheer amount of timelines that he's created. You may have killed this timeline's version of him, but not all the other ones. It fascinates me that someone as colorful as the Flash has such a deranged and truly terrifying villain. I also find myself fascinated by him because of the sheer willpower to destroy this man from hundreds of years in the past that he never even met until he obtained his powers. Even Batman, the same man who's kept the Joker alive for years, has a hard time justifying why it would be wrong to kill this psychopath. And if Batman even wants to kill this guy, then he is not to be trifled with. Next week, it's hero time when we talk about Accelerate.
Thanks, guys. Well, I gotta run. The challenge is starting soon. Stick around till after the break to see which Nerd Centralite is the most flexible.
What is up, everyone? My name is Kaylin Byland, and I am the new host for the Incredibles Challenge. Wait, what? What do you mean temporary host? Like, what, Bailey who? This is not what I signed up for. This is ridiculous. You can't do this! Ah! So, I am the new temporary host for the Incredibles Challenge. First, let me hit you with a recap. Cody and Krista are feuding over who loves Nerd Central the most, and they've dragged the entire crew into the fight. To settle the feud, everyone agreed to participate in a series of themed physical challenge. Why? I have no idea. Last week, they participated in their first challenge based on Mr. Incredible, and Krista's team came out on top. But it's a new week, and teams are facing new challenges. Who will win? My money is on Krista. All right, let's get to it. Teams, choose your opponents. Hold on. Where's Drew?
Who?
Drew, your third teammate.
Bro, he's right here. This is Drew.
No, that's clearly not Drew. Look at him. That's freaking Tibby.
This is definitely Drew.
100% Drew.
Look at his eyes.
Pure silence, exactly like Drew. Because it is Drew.
You know what? I'm not gonna question it. Just choose your freaking opponent. Cody, choose your challenger.
After careful consideration of the other team's skills and abilities, and after the revelation that one of their teammates was not Drew, it was a mannequin, we have chosen Emma for the Stretchy and Scooter Challenge.
All right, Krista, choose your challenger.
Based purely on a whim and shoe size, we have chosen Kyle as their challenger for the Stretchy and Scooter Challenge.
Let the challenges begin.
Mostly we chose Emma because, well, we had no other choice.
For some reason, Drew shrank down a couple feet and dyed his hair blonde and became really stiff in his joints, which we thought would really work to our advantages. But they would not let us pick him, which was really upsetting.
I know that we have the scooters in the bag because that man is the kind that will do anything to win. He might kick Emma for Scooter if we're lucky.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. There's no way he can be that flexible, you know? Like, he can be, yeah, like a little bit flexible, I can see. But like, better than me? I don't know about that.
Elastigirl is famous for her super flexibility. So, the first challenge is to find out who is the most flexible.
Get the behind the leg action going.
Yeah, gotta get an extra for the quads.
Oh yeah.
Get the gluteus maximus ready for proper spreading.
Okay.
Yep.
Hit me with some squats.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Ooh,
And you go in a stretch. Oh, yeah. My balls hurt. All right. Oh, you ready next?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bilber!
Okay, so first challenge is put behind the head.
Go behind the head.
Put behind the head.
Behind the head?
Behind the head.
Behind the head.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Let's go! Emma is clearly the winner. Yeah! So this next one is who can touch their toes.
It's a sit and reach, classic PE. Okay, ready? Go. No! Kyle is the clear winner. No!
Yay!
Ah!
Oh my god! I did it!
I got it.
Like
Okay, what is it?
16 inches.
I was gonna say 17. Oh my god. 18! Yes! Yes! Well, it looks like Emma won the first challenge. Called it! Now, let's head outside for challenge number 2.
I am in pain. So much pain.
Honestly, I'm really proud. You know, I could definitely have not done any of that, literally. So for Emma to just get out there and just drop it to the floor and everything else, I was very proud. Great moment.
I'm still very proud of him, but we lost, so I'm still gonna yell at him a little bit.
I think Kyle is gonna kill it in this next challenge. We might have lost the first challenge on a 1-inch difference, but I think we're gonna come back really strong.
Honestly, I think Kyle, just like in this flexibility challenge, I think he will put up a really good fight. He's an athlete of sorts, I guess. So, you know, I think he'll make it a really interesting challenge.
In Incredibles 2, we see Elastigirl absolutely slay on the motorcycle. So, we're gonna have our competitors do a scooter race around Wells Hall. Whoever goes a full lap around the building first wins. All right, my beautiful people, it is the beginning of the race. We are gonna go when I say go. You got it? 3, 2, 1, go! And the winner of this scooter race was Kyle.
I was hesitant on the scooter. I was very afraid of falling, and I think it showed in my performance, unfortunately.
At the end of the Elastigirl challenges, I think she put up a pretty good fight in the first half. She really biffed it in the last one, and it was kind of funny to listen to her cries of peril from behind me. But I think we were pretty evenly matched.
I think Drew is gonna kill it in the Violet challenge, honestly. There's no way anyone is moving that immovable stone.
I am a little worried because Drew looks a little steadfast. He's always been very stoic, so I think he's gonna plant himself in the ground and Cody's just gonna run at him and just bounce off of Drew. I think it'll be very entertaining.
That concludes round 2 with the final team scores coming to 1 for Cody's team and 2 for Chris's team. Tune in next week to see who will win the Violet Challenge. That's going to do it for us here at Nerd Central. You can watch all of our previous episodes on the KNWT YouTube channel. See you next week.
Can we do that one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't keep it together. That was
After careful consideration of the other team's skills and abilities and the liberation that one of their competitors was Amen.
Amen. Amen.
After careful consideration of the other team's skills.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, mama!
You're just copying. I couldn't hear you over my panting, I'm sorry.
Well, I was trying to shave. I don't know. Oh God.
Okay.
I stared at him.
Okay. All right, are you ready for this?
No.
Me neither. Let's do it.
All right.
This is so hard. I'm so not flexible. Fun. No. Was not fun. I really want to clap. My leg is tired.
I'm too fat for this.
You kicked my butt.